Hello, beloveds. Welcome to your last quarter moon reading. Today, we'll be diving into the themes around this lunar cycle. There's so much happening collectively, there's so much that's happening astrologically, and Mercury's coming out of retrograde, and you probably are feeling things starting to speed up, like especially projects and places where you're wanting to turn your attention and build structure. It's becoming a bit more fluid, a bit more easy to create in that way. And then we also have the influence of the incoming eclipse, which will arrive around the time of the equinox. And wow, it feels really big. It feels really big. So as we call in the resources to navigate this, we just really center our intention around that information presenting with clarity, with clear direction, and asking for all of the relevant information and the pieces that we need to be empowered and to really take ownership of the opportunities we're being given during this lunar cycle to be received with ease, with understanding, and for the light of truth to be revealed. And so it is. And we're also going to pray that we have a lot of clarity and sound, as this can be a very wild place. Ubud, Bali is kind of a very chaotic place. So you can hear the dogs, you can hear building, you can hear scooters, you can hear traffic, you can hear roosters, and who knows what else. And whenever that happens, it's always a part of the transmission and the energy that's here. It comes with its own medicine, its own message. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Hello, I'm Miramai. And for those of you that are returning, thank you so much for your continuous support and showing up for yourself and for community. And we're going to start to dive in. The way that these quarter moon readings go is that there are 3 individual streams, and you can choose from one of these streams. Each one has a specific message, and as you hold your intention, you align with the message that's most resonant for you, that's most applicable and relevant for you. So I'm going to show you our little totems so you can choose. We have 3 very Balinese totems here. We have the Ganesh, the Buddha, and the dragon. Ganesh is stream 1. Buddha is stream 2. And the dragon is stream 3. So I'll ask you to select one of those totems, and then we'll begin our transmission. And an interesting story about these totems, you would think that I got all these in Bali, and I didn't. This little Ganesh, one of my babysitters back in the States showed up with this in her tire. Ganesh is the remover of obstacles. The universe is humorous. The second one came from a friend who went to Cambodia, and actually it was the babysitter's father brought me this from Cambodia. And then the dragon I got from Bali. So stream 1, Ganesh. And I have rows of 3, as you saw. The first card indicates the timeline, the intention that you set, and that you're on a trajectory to. The second card is generally the challenges, as well as the opportunity that is helping you to come into that higher timeline. It generally shows up as a shadow or challenge. And then the last card is the guidance, the practical steps you can take to continue to put yourself on that trajectory. So we have the Earth Warriors deck representing the timeline that you have set, you have created an intention around. And that's the star of Venus, Chaska, which one of the celestial movements is that Venus and Jupiter are coming into some alignment. Maybe it's today. It could be today. I think there's something significant about the number 20 here too. 20 may have some kind of value for you in this process. And I believe that this card speaks to abundance. This speaks to prosperity. It says that Chaska, star of Venus, supports an inner shift to higher consciousness. Whether or not you consider yourself to be financially skillful, part of your sacred power and purpose includes the healing of economic and financial matters in your life and the world. You are meant to experience abundance, creating and sharing prosperity from a place of inner spiritual security. A healing liberation from poverty consciousness allows the universe to work through you more easily without the obstruction of negative conditioning. Financial healing is indicated. Let go of fear and trust unconditionally that the universe is supporting you. What brings you a sense of joy, purpose, and passionate devotion? Focus on that. Believe in your ability to thrive by being and expressing your authentic self. Notice how you relax into flow and more easily attract what you need when you acknowledge that the universe wants you to flourish through being you. Focus on putting your beautiful beliefs out into the world, not in consuming the negativity or fear of others. Give your spirit abundantly. Nothing is beyond reach of divine assistance. Trust in this, and you can fulfill your purpose of being a positive influence in this world. I feel this so much right now, and I would say this was going to be the stream that I was going to choose for myself. And I can feel a lot occurring in the world right now around economic instability, and yet what is being called for is exactly what this card is describing, is really understanding where true abundance comes from, where true richness comes from, and not getting lost in this idea that our wealth, our currency, our safety is intrinsically and solely based on our financial wealth. We live in a world where it's a very real implication, but that also reduces spirit. It reduces our connection with the infinite abundance through maintaining proper alignment and coherence with natural order. Natural order is designed to provide balance in this universe. Natural order means following these laws and principles that state when we invest with our heart, with our mind, with our money, with all parts of our energy. And money is it's just a fraction of that energy that we receive a return on that investment. And there's a draw to get sucked into the collective system right now. That's an old world system it's the monetary system that's built on fear, control, slavery, and the physical dollar. We're being invited to stand in the universal currency and to start living through universal currency. So I hope that's helpful. That feels relative for all of you who chose this stream. And the fox, the inverted fox, is actually coming in as the shadow or the challenge or the opportunity. So just like Ganesh is known as the remover of obstacles, but it's not by actually taking them out of our way. It's by shifting our perspective to understand that they are the gift to take us to the goal. it reorients our relationship to what we perceive as a challenge to receive it as the opportunity. So the fox is it's sly, it's a bit of a trickster energy. And it's coming in upside down too, which seems to have some relevance. So being mindful of your own tendencies, maybe to drop into this fear-based system around money and to let it derail you from any good work that you've been doing with feeling the safety, security of being in your own skin and investing into your relationships with nature, with yourself, with animals, with plants, with friends, with strangers. To be conscious of any thought patterns or people who also might be poisoning your well, might be influencing you. This says trickster energy, sly, slippery, elusive, and clever. Says a situation has arrived that requires you to think on your feet or be more cunning in your approach. Whatever is going on, you must be clever. When we are in the theater of the trickster, everyone is wearing a mask, including you. Clarity may feel elusive and just out of reach no matter what you do, and certainly there is drama. Be very smart about your next move and consider the image your mask is representing. This also says drama and glamour go hand in hand with this energy, and there are two things that are highly prized in modern society. Indeed, people lead lifelong successful careers in the art of just that. How can you channel these ideals to serve you now? You can make yourself up whatever you need to be. So be careful of playing tricks on yourself around this, and particularly cautious of your investments right now. We're coming out of a Mercury retrograde. Things are still a little blurry. We have things coming in. This eclipse, like I said, it's going to be quite dense. It's going to be potentially heavy. And if you're on the front end of it, you can get on top of that wave. But if you get underneath in the undercurrents, then it's going to be a little bit harder to penetrate. So be mindful. Be mindful of that energy. What comes through is your direction, your process, your practical application is the Andean cross. Now, the Andean cross represents the 0 point, essentially. This is the portal. This is the central column. This is the central channel. This is where all things emanate, originate, and return to. And I'll also share like what exactly it says the medicine is for this. For me, what I get is remembering to come home to your creator self, especially when it comes to money, economic stability, investment, currency, all the things that your trajectory stands for. It's not just something about you being liberated from your own scarcity mindset, but you becoming the living example by which other people now know it's possible. They need representation, but also like a direct transmission energetically to retrieve their holistic view from the captured part of themselves in the system. The invitation with the Andean cross announces the start to a great journey. It's time to raise your gaze from the mundane day-to-day to that which until now has seemed beyond your grasp. Allow new wisdom to guide you and stop trying to make sense of it all before you respond with a resounding yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, this is one of the ways of breaking free of linear time and increasing your awareness. As I feel further into this, you're being called to go beyond your ancestors, go beyond perhaps some people around you in your community. And while there is always a level of unknown when we're invited, when we're initiated, when we're put on a path, a new path, this feels a bit more grounded. This feels like actually you have some resources in your vicinity that have given you direction and have actually are providing a support net for you to make some changes, to make some commitments. What's important is that you make the commitment, but you're very clever. So calling maybe on the fox spirit as your own embodiment to understand what mask are you wearing, what mask are other people wearing, and what's your next move? What's the best way to make that next move? So, good fortune, number 1. All right, stream number 2. Durga Ma. Okay, this is yeah, you're really being called to harness your power and harness it for good. So you probably have been on a bit of a path, an excursion of doing some underworld work, some shadow work. You've collected many pieces of yourself, and now it's time to integrate that, and maybe you have been integrating it and you're starting to turn all of that challenge into merit, into clear communication between you and spirit. And you realize in that power that you have distilled that this is less about you making things happen here in the 3D world and more about this maintaining and increasing your connection with spirit, praying, intending, and calling all that is needed for you in the world in through loving intention and prayer. So Durga, Ajna Durga, this has to do with clarification of your third eye. Clarification of the third eye comes through realization of the scarring that obscures clear vision. So it's doing all of the shadow work. When we do the shadow work, it pulls these veils from our eyes because we see the world as we have experienced it. And when we start to heal, we don't identify with those experiences anymore, and therefore we can become the observer, which doesn't hold these layers of perception. This says you need never lose faith in the power of good. You need never lose faith in how much you can accomplish as an independent and inspired individual in this world. You need never believe that you are alone or without divine protection. You need never fear evil. The third eye of the Divine Mother sees all things, is ever watchful and ever just. She births through holy vision the manifest power of good in all realms. Her gaze is upon you now. Trust her. You probably have been through a pretty challenging time, and maybe you felt a little defeated, maybe you're feeling a little low energy. This timeline is actively cultivating a resilience in you to not be so permeable to negative influence and to take on that negative influence and then lose yourself in it. This says trust your power to alert you when you need to know something or understand what is happening in your life and what you need. Even if you aren't so sure of that yourself at times, actively contest negativity. When you feel something isn't coming from love, acknowledge it immediately. You don't have to make it about you or analyze it. Use your divine connection to deal with it promptly and effectively. Call for divine support in all things. You will not divert help from someone else if you ask for it for yourself. Allowing yourself to be helped empowers your path, which in turn helps all beings. You likely have gone through a process of being humbled, and in that humbling, when we are taken down to our knees, we have no other option than to call God. And often that is what leads to us being a what they call a prayer warrior, or connection with your shamanic self, your ability to be so connected, invested, and trustworthy, and willing to receive and to call forth what you need and what the world needs in the higher realms, and not just trying to do it all on your own in the 3D, not trying to make it all happen in the 3D. This is about assuming more power as someone who communes and brings those messages through heaven onto earth. Your challenge card is the Penguin. There's something with loyalty. Some loyalty, and that might be a challenge for you. Maybe there's somebody you feel loyal to, and therefore you're maybe giving them a little bit more space or energy. Maybe it could even be the system, a particular system, a job, something that maybe your energy is leaking by thinking that you need to be loyal when that might be a belief that's actually not serving. This is family and close relationships and social life. It speaks about the penguin's almost never by itself, knowing that a solid system of support is key to the survival of both individual and species. So again, just like that first card, this is about being humbled to realize you can't do it on your own. You're not meant to do it on your own, and it's better if you don't do it on your own. But this isn't maybe in the same way you've reached for community and relationship on the outside. This is about you first establishing that community internally and through the spirit world, and then you will have that terrestrialize and manifest physically. So as if you've pulled this card, it's time to reach out to your support system. This looks different for each of us, and this also might be speaking to on the physical realm. Likely it is. It's like maybe people you've disconnected from, or you've been like trying to stay strong, and you need to call in some more physical support. It's also possible that, going through these hard times, we need to be around people that make us feel light and bring us more joy so we can come back to our natural state and open our vision and really see more clearly, and to start connecting with that power from a positive place. It says it's also possible that whatever you're going through directly involves your loved ones, and that if this is the case, it's time to weigh the importance of this relationship in your life. Do you want or even need this relationship to continue? Yeah, that's you. If the answer is yes, is this conflict doing more damage to the relationship than it's worth? We must learn to pick our battles wisely. Regardless of how this card applies to your current circumstances, the message is clear. Reach out to those you care about. And your direction is the upper worlds. This is about prayer. This is about recognizing, realizing, connecting, and communion, and stopping the belief of you need to correct it here by managing the 3D world, and go there first. Call in your support, call in your clarity. There's a lot that can be cleared up from that place instead of you trying to effort and make things happen. This is a Taoist reading in this second stream. This is very much about getting out of the way and coming into your connectivity with your spirit, listening and honoring your intuition and building your intuition. So, stream number 2, I honor you. Thanks for doing the hard work here recently, and just know that all things happen in cycles, and it sounds like this is a time where you can start to build, not just build, but start to experience more ease after a time that probably has been maybe quite challenging. And then stream number 3 with our dragon, you have the timeline of Pacha Karmak, nourishment of the soul. This feels like a really strong one. And just feeling into the quality of this transmission. It feels quiet to me. It feels like this is about being quiet enough to hear. This says you are granted the gifts of fertility, creativity, and earthly abundance to support all needs, for nourishing body, mind, and soul, and to live your life fully and be capable of manifesting your divine purpose. Give yourself permission to nourish your body and provide your heart, your mind, and your soul with what they are hungry for, meaning sweetness, divine love, and the freedom to be authentic. When you feel yourself that which nourishes you, when you feed yourself that which nourishes you, wisely and generously, you shall become one who can also feed the world that for which it truly hungers. So I have this sense of like, get quiet enough to recognize what those things are. It says explore and experiment with nutritional wisdom that suits your body at this time. Seems very body focused. And like you're integrating, and you're really needing the body to be resourced enough to hold what you're integrating, to be able to allow the frequency that regulates your nervous system to increase and to stabilize. Understand that your body's needs may change over time, and remember that caring for the needs of your body is more important and spiritually mature than trying to force your body to meet the expectations of a belief system outside of yourself. Don't starve yourself of what you need on any level of your being, including peace, solitude, love, time spent in spiritual communion, artistic expression, and nutrition. Answers are coming for your questions about all forms of nourishment, including nutrition, so do not give up when you are so close to finding your way. If you have struggled to get your needs being met on some level, a blessing is given to help you into more nourishing and abundant situations in all areas of your life. I don't have anything to add to that. Your challenge and opportunity comes as the jellyfish. And the jellyfish, when I think about a jellyfish, I think about just going with the flow. I believe jellyfish only have something kindred to a nervous system. They don't have a stomach or a heart. So to me, it's kind of like just being in the Tao and letting things unfold naturally. I'm trying to find the jellyfish card in here. Let's see what else it has to say. Here's your jellyfish. Releasing expectations, ease, flow, and instincts. Yeah. They're made of 95% water. They don't have a brain, heart, or bones. And no central nervous system. So they rely solely on the sensitive nerve endings at the base of their tentacles to detect touch, temperature, and the flow of the ocean. Their lack of resistance to the ocean currents enables them to navigate their underwater world with ease. So this talks about embracing the flow, finding where you have resistance, knowing resistance is futile, and that there's some kind of wisdom that can help you right now. It says, have you considered that needing to be in control or feeling tied to a certain outcome may be holding you back? When we can embrace the current situation for what it is truly, we are freed from the chains of our expectations and the weight of stress is lifted. When we can find peace in the present and go with the natural cycles of our lives with trust, we may end up not where we expected to be, but somewhere better. I can attest for that. Certainly thought that my life would be somewhere else, but here I am in Bali living an incredible adventure that I just could never have manufactured for myself. And it was not an easy process, but it has become easy. I can trust. You can trust when you let go. Your practical application is working with the energy of the seer. So you're clairvoyant and you can trust. You can trust what you see. You can trust your instincts for the most part. It says this represents your capacity to reach beyond the obvious details of life into the hidden realms where information is available to those with discernment to perceive it. Represents psychic power, intuition, and the capacity to know something without prior exposure. The seer knows truth, always seeks truth beyond all else, and sees reality as it truly is without judgment. The seer can read in between the lines and understands what is not being said. So it represents clarity and acknowledgement of patterns. This invites you to trust your intuition and to follow it as it leads you forward. Understand that you may feel lost when it appears that your hunch is taking you in circles or even through a maze, but the hidden realms don't follow the rules of a two-dimensional map. Trust your gut and allow your perception of circumstances to widen to include the nuances and subtle cues that you normally miss if you take things at face value. The seer has gifted you with the magic. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, and your vision is clear. This calls for purification of your body and your nervous system so that this higher receptivity of clarity can come fully into the visual cortex to become embodied and understanding and seeing things really as they are. And I think more so it's for you to restore the harmony in your body from traumas that have caused you to disbelieve or disconnect from your intuition. So that's what I'm feeling, is like there's a nourishment that your body is wanting so that you can trust, your body can trust more of your intuition. It's like there's been a separation, that your spirit, your heart knows it can trust, but the body tends to derail it because it's got other experiences and memories that are triggered when that same vibration comes in, because our intuition comes in, all information, emotion, energy and motion comes in the form of energy. So when, just like an allergy, when there's something that we meet, that we have a memory around, and that memory was something that was traumatic, it will trigger an instinct that says, be aware. So you're cleaning out your cellular memory so that even though there was a past experience where that resonance was something that was dangerous, but is not dangerous in the moment, that you're able to process that out with ease and without it disrupting your connection with your intuition and your ability to trust. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. I love the likes, the thumbs up, the shares, the subscriptions. All of that is so helpful. And thanking you all for your participation in this wild ride of life and for being here with me. And I look forward to meeting you again next week at the new moon. Until then, stay pure, keep it simple. Pura vida.